Friends, what do you know about Edward Wilmot Blyden? Do you know that Edward Wilmot Blyden was the father of Pan-Africanism? He started what great people like Marcus Garvey, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and other Pan-Africanists pursued. Do you know his birthplace? He was born in the Danish West Indies, but his roots were in Igbo land. This great man who ended up lighting the fire that was used by a lot of people to begin the process of freeing Africans from bondage. Had Igbo parents who were captured from Igbo land during the great tragedy called the transatlantic slave trade. He ended up in the West Indies, or they ended up in the West Indies, where he was born, went to school, eventually relocated to Sierra Leone, and did a lot of very important and great work. I am putting down all this in writings I'm putting down things like this in writing and in video so that those who deserve honor will be honored. By the way, how many people in the world know that this great son of Igbo land was one of those who added their very great voices to the call to stop the oppression of the Jewish people who were being persecuted in Europe? Blyden added his megaphone to that call. He said that the land of Israel, which the Romans renamed Palestine, should be handed over to the Jewish people. How many Igbos and African Americans today know that Blyden was a prophet? He called for African Americans to participate actively in the rebuilding of the African continent. If I had not started to research, I wouldn't have known this. I probably wouldn't have known about this great man, because people like this are not really favored by people who have muzzled themselves to the forefront of writing history. But as the great awakening and reawakening continues, and we begin to delve more and more into our history, we are going to be learning more and more about people like this. Brothers and sisters, explore Edward Wilmot Blyden. I'm going to suggest to Chief Zion Lexx that both of us will talk about this gentleman and Marcus Garvey, whom I also explored in this volume. So, I'm shouting out to you, Chief Zion Lexx. Think of a session when we will discuss Edward Wilmot Blyden and Thomas and Marcus Garvey, the great man who lit a fire just as Blyden lit, that contributed to our regaining of our dignity as human beings. We might also include the great Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe in the discussion. And if possible, if time permits, Alaude Equiano will feature in it too. Chief Zion Lexx, think of that. Thank you, everybody.